Nah, I am. You see why we got backup microphone? I almost in here record. Like I legit like this. Like I almost in here record on the H6.
He almost in here record on no microphones. He just hit it on both.
Yeah, we would have had live microphone. I hear myself. That's the product. That's why you need a PA. That's why you need a PA. See how important you are? She ain't want to do no burpees.
I know.
All right, cool.
That's all right. She don't want her nails done no more neither.
Dang, Brenda. Don't let her play mind games with you, Brenda. What up, y'all? It's your boy, Coach Dee Matthews. Welcome to the Black Couple Goals podcast. Sitting next to me is
Dr. Tresha Matthews.
We've been married for a minute, y'all, and everybody be like, yo, y'all couple goals. But we used to fight butt naked.
You used to be butt naked.
Okay, I was butt naked. We'll get to that in a minute. Boom.
Come on, push it.
Yeah. What vacation is this? 4 or 5?
Either one, let's go.
I don't know.
I don't even care.
Check it out though. Me and a wife, Punta Cana. Turn the email, man, I buy. You call me daddy when we on vacation. Even though I'm her kid's father.
So what up, y'all? Welcome to the podcast, episode 1 with my dope wife right here. And the reason why we doing this podcast is because everybody say we couple goals, right? But were we always couple goals? And what happened to the butt naked fight? And why you want butt naked too?
Because I got sense.
Oh, yeah, might be. Yeah, I'm taking a drink on that one. So, what happened was, way before we was couple goals, right? We used to fight every month.
Every 2 months. It was on point.
Every 2 months?
No.
I thought
It was every 2 months.
Okay, so every 2 months.
Like we had an appointment for a fight.
Yes. Why was that?
I don't know. I think that was just the flow that we had gotten into. We were like,
The flow.
we would fight, and then we'd make up, and then after that, it's just like roses and butterflies, and then I start noticing shit again. Like, wait a minute. Then right about 2 months, I'm like, enough of this shit.
Yeah.
And then we fight.
Yep. And then it went down to 1 month per fight.
Man.
I think. Didn't it go down to 1 month? Went down to 1 month.
It did. Towards the end, it was like
And then
every month.
And up. And then it went to like once every 6 months. And then it went to like once every 6 months. And then prior to 2020, which then I started having a whole lot of mental issues that we fought like from like February. Had like 3 fights, just like February. Right. But I say that to say this is that you see how we went from, we never fight to once every 6 months or 2 months, whatever. Then once a month, once every 6 months, and went right back into the bullshit. And that's what happens in a marriage because people change, things happen, and if you don't address them,
Right.
then you get stuck in that little OODA loop. I learned that word at OODA loop at was it the prison? No, I learned it at Canyon State, the boys facility, I think. OODA loop, like a dog chasing his tail. You just kind of get stuck in that same cycle right there. And OODA loop stood for something, some acronym. But what I got out of it was that basically we just constantly stay in the same thing. Well, I didn't want to stay. We weren't in that position before fighting, and then come 2020, I started tripping out about a bunch of stuff where all of a sudden I don't like this, and all of a sudden I don't like that.
But I changed a lot too. I changed. I started being more 13 years into the marriage. I'm like, I need to focus on me a little bit. And I started being more me-centered instead of more him-centered. And it required him to make a shift that he wasn't notified of or prepared to make.
I got no notice, no 2-week notice. Go ahead.
But Bruce said, what was learned from the fight? We're about to tell you. No, what happened in 2020 was there was a shift in our business. Mm-hmm. So if you've been around our business, you know that the first 6 years of our business, Dee was the front man.
Yeah.
And I was behind the scenes. And then we made this realization, and the realization was that Dee is not a people person. He doesn't like dealing with people 24/7 all the time. And that's what was coming up in the business. It was like, listen, you can't bring these people here and then be like, but I'm okay, that's it. No, like you got to be 24/7 available, ready, conversations.
Yeah.
They start telling you things you didn't really want to hear. Like, I don't want to know about all that.
Yeah.
But you kind of got to. And what we realized was that he wasn't that kind of person, but I was.
Okay. Yep.
So it was like, okay, we're going to put you more to the front. We're going to let you be the one. I'm going to still bring them. But when they come, they're going to meet you. They're going to talk to you. They're going to get into it.
Right.
You're going to coach them. And then once that happened, more of my time became do the business and focus on me. It was like, I'm doing the business and I'm taking care of myself. I'm still taking care of him, but not to the extent that I was before.
Yeah.
So now he's looking like, what about me? What about me? And I'm like, babe, I got you, but let me take care of these clients real quick. Babe, I got you, but let me go ahead. I'm going to the spa right now today.
Yep.
I got you. As soon as I get back I'm getting ready to go out of town and I'll be back. And then I got you. Mm-hmm. And then it was like, for him, it went from me being constantly like, Daddy, what do you need? Daddy, what you want me to get you? Daddy, you need some water? Daddy, you need me to get you this? Want me to make you a shake? To me being like, I got you as soon as I get back.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's looking like, well, wait a minute. What's going on here?
I like me no likey. Me no likey.
So what was portrayed as like, it came out as him being angry, but he wasn't really angry. It was more like frustrated, like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
All of a sudden you ain't got no time for me.
Yeah.
And I saw it, but I was just like, come on, you see what I'm doing? You get it, right? But
Yeah.
no, I had to tell him. I had to be like, babe, look, listen, this is what the role is. We switched roles. He was the front person and I was the support for so long. Then when I became the front person, nobody told him that he was going to have to play a support role. So all of a sudden, him being the front man and me catering to him turned into him kind of falling back a little bit and kind of catering to me a little bit without warning. So once we had that conversation and it was like, yo, babe, this is what it is. Like them first 6 years, didn't you notice that's what I was doing for you? Like showing up, babe, what you need? You need this? You need that? Got you some food. I made you a shake. He was like, damn, girl, you always seem to know what I need. Mm-hmm. It was just me playing the role because I saw him in a high stress, high customer contact, just constantly grinding. And I felt like I needed to support that for him. So I was being on like high support. And once that switched, no one told him to become that role. And so what it looked like was like we didn't have time for each other. As soon as he switched gears, though, and became high support, I would say like this last 2 months or so has just been absolutely amazing with him playing more of a support role. And then me just noticing when there wasn't like those times in between, if a day or 2 or 3 went by and we didn't get a chance to sit down next to each other and I inhale whenever he exhale, like we just sharing oxygen out this joint. Whenever that didn't happen, I would notice now because I noticed that he became sensitive to that.
Yeah. And so even with that explanation, right, I still didn't have clarity, right? So, and maybe I had the clarity, but either I didn't want to accept it, which probably was a huge part of that, and didn't know how to accept it. So, the constant conversation was needed. Like I would tell myself, "You good? We good? You good? We good? We good." The next day I'd be like, man, fuck this shit. I mean, you know what I'm saying? The very next day, because like a trigger will happen. So what she said was 100% correct, right? And everything she did is all I love to take care of me, take care of the family, everything. She did take care of me nonstop all these years. She still do all the time, right? Just do things on point. Without me thinking about it, she can just be there. She'll catch it, everything will be bam. But, male pride is something crazy. And if you go through this situation in your household with your guy, it's still a matter of your guy wanting to accept the fact of whatever role you put him in. No matter what it makes sense to, if it don't make sense in the family, if it's positive or negative, whatever, like the guy still got to accept, I'm playing second or whatever the case may be. I heard it with my ears, but my mind didn't want to accept it. So I had to say, it's not my wife's fault. She's doing everything. She's taking care of the business. And I even self-admitted. I said, yo, if this business was up to me, I'm like, man, I'd have sunk this battleship a long time ago. But when she take care of everybody, I'm like, cool. What do I do? So I had to start taking care of myself. I had to be like, all right, what are you good at? okay, I'm a writer, I do videos, this and that. Like, you go focus on the videos for the business. You go focus on the go do your contributions. You know what I mean? And stop worrying about like what the role looks like, and just do what you know you can do inside that role. And it's all mental stuff. So for me, that's what I think that's really what it was. And I think to some degree, I think I'm pretty good at. I think just now, I'm starting to understand it and accept it. Just now, but we done been a couple months through this. You know what I'm saying?
And it takes time. And I think part of it too, like whenever we have the fight, it's like, and it's never. Trust me, our fights aren't like what you might think a fight look like. A fight look like, well, why you do that? And I'm like, what are you talking about? That right there. What? Da-da-da. And it's like a couple words back and forth, and then we're done. And then usually what happens is I go silent for about a day or two, where I just don't say anything to him. I'm like, I don't even know what I said that was wrong right there, but I'm gonna just be quiet for about a day and wait for him to like laugh at one of my jokes or something. And then we could, it's cool again.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about her always trying to insert her way back into my life after I'm mad.
I just fall back. Like, okay, well, I'm gonna just go talk to some clients. I'm gonna go help somebody with their meal plan. I'm gonna go do the business. I'm gonna go do what I'm supposed to be doing. And then when he's done being mad, as soon as I see him laugh at my joke or like
babe,
my post or something.
Babe, what's this? We like that? I'm like, stop touching me. She'd be like,
if he say don't touch him, like if we lay in bed and he like don't touch me, I'm like, all right. I wait till he fall asleep, and this finger right here is touching him. And that's enough. I don't need a full cuddle. I don't need you to put your arms around me. I just put this finger right here on his shoulder. And that's enough for me. That's like a whole cuddle right there.
Yeah.
For me, when I put this finger on his shoulder like that, and I feel the warmth from his shoulder on my finger, it's like he just put both his arms around me and held me. And I could fall asleep like that. And he feel good because he think he got his way and I didn't touch him.
I got tricked in my sleep. I got touched on in my sleep.
Straight molested
in my sleep. Oh.
But when he mad, like I'll see it. Like I see him want to laugh at something I said, but he trying to stay mad.
Yeah, I be trying.
He be looking like.
Cause it was crazy when it come to being mad is that, like, I'm an emotional man. So, like, when I get mad, I it's funny because, again, you got to know your mate, because it's funny because when we get mad, her thing like, hey, let's just have sex and make up. Let's get mad on purpose and have sex and make up. Sorry, Dash, you my son here. But I be like, nah, I'm mad. That means no sex. That's what that means. I'm mad. Pecker don't want to play. I don't want to play. I want to be heard right now. I want to be heard. Excuse me. Don't want mom.
Listen, I'm so not emotional. Like in the middle of mad, I'm like, yo, let me put this little dress on and go walk around and do stuff in my little dress. And he trying to stay mad, and I got my little dress on.
She pulled that trick out last time. What was that?
That was the last fight we just had. I put the little dress on.
Oh, yeah.
I had the joint on with the shorts underneath, and I was
pissed. But after I hit it from the back, right after that, so.
Excuse me.
Oh, my son in the house. Oh, you under 21?
But yeah, when he's mad, I just try to be cute. I don't really do mad like that though, I think that's a thing for us.
Keep going.
My mad is like not. My mad, I don't even know what it is. I don't get mad, and it doesn't last usually for more than like, if anything, maybe a couple hours, and then I'm over it and I've moved on. Sometimes I'm done in the minute. Like in the minute. You know what? I don't like that. Da-da-da-da. Keep it moving. Most of the time I don't even say anything because I know it's not going to last. He do something to make me mad. I'm like, that pissed me off. Anyway, what we about to do next, Daddy?
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I'm not even I don't even bring up my grievances unless it's something serious, because I know I'm not going to stay mad. And there's no point in arguing about something that's trivial. Now, if it's something that he always does that makes me mad, then I might bring it up like, you know what, you always do this, and I don't like when you do that.
Right.
And then he knows and he'll adjust. But if it's just like, you just cut me off when I was talking just now, I'm mad. I'm not going to get mad about that.
Yeah.
I'll just hear what he got to say and we keep talking. Now, if it was like every time I start talking, you cut me off, then I would say that, but I would say it in a time like, hey, you see that right there, what you just did? And what's crazy is he's adapted that same thing. He does that too now. Rather than wait and blow up, he's like, hey, I'm just tell you this right now, because if I don't, then it's going to be a fight later. I just want you to know that when you do this right there, I don't like that.
Yeah. Clear communication.
So it's like, boom, we learned that part. Like, just say it, because the truth of the matter is, like, if it's rules in your fighting and if it's rules in your relationship, the communication should be accepted on both sides. So our basic rules are, we don't cuss each other out.
Right.
No matter how mad we are, I'm never going to be a B.
Right.
He's never going to be a MF or like none of that stuff. It's always like, I don't like when you do this. I don't understand why you're saying that. I don't know why you feel that way. That's not what it is, or whatever. Like, we'll talk about it. But in the heat of the argument, first of all, there's no heat in the argument. It's always a conversation. Our fights are always a conversation.
Yeah.
And in the moment, my main thought, and I started doing this probably about 5 years ago. And it might have been longer than that, because it was before Herbalife. I literally just started saying to myself, this is my husband and I love him. In the middle of the argument, I'll be saying that in my head. This is my husband and I love him. So whatever we're arguing about right now, this is my husband and I love him. And I'm not going to say anything that negates that love or looks like something besides that love. I want him to see and feel that I love him, even when we're arguing.
Right.
So in the middle of a fight, I don't like when you do this. You make me feel like this and this and that. Like the one fight, I think the only thing that would change where I'm trying to make sure he still knows that I love him in a fight is if I feel like I need to defend myself. It's the only thing that'll make me drop that, is like that self-preservation mode where I need to defend myself in the fight.
Rules. What are some of our rules?
It's really that. That's the main one. Is like, we don't say things that aren't real. We don't call each other out the name. Like, I'm never gonna be like, oh, little dick ass nigga. Like, I'm never gonna do that in a fight.
Because I ain't got a little dick, first of all.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, we're not gonna start just saying anything to hurt feelings.
Nope.
Just because we in a fight. And I've seen people do that. Like, you love your man and like my girlfriends, I'd be like, girl, you love your man. Like, you love that nigga dirty drawers. How you gonna come out your face and call him all these names?
Yep.
And then tomorrow you want him to love you again.
Yep.
It's so hard to have genuine love in a relationship or a true friendship if every time you get mad, it gives you the right to say whatever you want to me. How can I ever feel that you love me or that you got my back if as soon as you were mad, I was a bitch? Or as soon as you got mad at me, I was all kind of raggedy hoes and all that.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, just that part right there, no matter what the disagreement is about, I don't stop loving him when we're fighting. So I can't just be rude.
Yeah. I always respected that about our relationship, no matter what. Even in the rocky times, when I knew that even being mad, we still got like these rules and boundaries. I'm like, man, this can work if we just get ourselves together. You know what I mean? I'm like, because this ain't like no ratchet relationship. Like, she's from the Bronx. I'm from ghetto ass Milwaukee. You know what I mean? Like, we some regular people. We some regular hood people. You know what I mean? But we don't act like that in our marriage. Yeah, our marriage. We don't treat each other like we enemies even when we mad. You know what I mean? And when I realized that, even when we was fighting and all that, when I realized that, okay, at least we got that to depend on, all the rest of this shit can be worked out. Like, whenever, however, you know what I'm saying? So, speaking of non-negotiables, right, I got this little list that I put together.
Oh, damn. What kind of list?
And actually, it's our stuff, but I want you to articulate it. It's kind of funny too, right? But it's like a little simple rules to go by in a relationship, really for our listeners. And I figure some things that we abide by for the most part. But when I say it to like new single people or people trying to get a relationship, they be like, what?
Right.
Like, I remember time I was in Cali, right? So my homeboy Uno, shout out to my boy Uno, Jason Soares. When I was in Cali with him, and that's my dude. If anybody know him, that's my dude. And, you know, he's single. He ain't got no kids. You know what I'm saying? And hanging with dude is just like...
Most eligible bachelor.
He's the most eligible bachelor out there. You know what I'm saying? Funny dude, in shape, the whole nine. Good dude, right? And when I'm hanging with dude, it's like, I'm tired. Because these do Energies 1000. I got to keep up with him, all kind of stuff. So we was going somewhere, and he had a client he was talking to, and we was leaving. And I'm like, man, I'm hungry. But I was like, I can't go eat yet. And then, like, so we were both in her truck, this Range Rover or whatever. She turned around, looked at me. He turned around, looked at me, and he was like, "What's up, D? Like, you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, my wife was out here too in Cali, and I was like, "Nah, I gotta check with her first to see if she hungry." And it was like, "What?" I said, "Hey, yo, it's rules. It's non-written rules,
right,
that you can avoid fights in your house by little stuff." And then like they both was like, whoa, wait, hold on. You gotta tell me about this. Okay, wait. All right, so hold on. So you can't eat without her? I'm like, I can eat without her, but if we together someplace and I know she hungry, because the last meal we had was together and I know what time that was, I'm out here getting full, and she back in style crib.
Look, sitting there waiting
sitting waiting for me to get back
so
to
we
the
can
side.
go eat.
We can go eat. And I come back full, burping. What's up, babe? Hey, you ready to go eat? Me and Uno, we was
That's a fight.
That's a fight, right?
I've been sitting here waiting on you. Or even worse, I done ordered Postmates because I know you're going to be back soon. So I ordered you food.
And it's waiting
and you
on me
show
when I
up and
get
I got
there.
food waiting on you. And you're like, oh, I already ate.
That's a fight. I feel mad. I feel mad at myself even thinking that, right? You even bringing that up. All right, so check it out. So 9 negotiables, right? So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First one is do not eat without checking with your mate. We just talked about that one. And the reason why is because, what is the reason why? We talked about...
The main thing about that is just like, that's how deeply you care for somebody. If every time I think about my own personal needs, like hunger,
right,
I consider your personal needs.
You say hunger, like you emphasize like hunger.
If I consider your personal needs at the same time,
right,
internally, I'm building such a deep bond with you,
right,
where I'm not willing to address my personal needs without making sure that your needs are met as well. Right. So it's like, to the same thing, like if I'm like, okay, babe, I'm tired. You tired? Yeah, I'm tired too. Okay, let's go ahead and shut it down. Like,
True.
Food is like the more prevalent one because we eat several times a day.
Right.
But at the end of the night, if I'm tired, I'm assuming that he's probably tired too.
Right.
And, it's just little things like that where you start to get that deep bond because you're considering another person's just their basic needs along with yours.
Right.
So you start to bond real strongly in that way.
Got it. So as funny as that may sound, it's finna sound funnier because this one right here, y'all gonna be like, psh, but I'm telling you to save you some headache and some divorce papers.
I can't read the paper. I want to know what it is. What is it?
You can't read it from there? All right. The next one is don't start a movie. Okay, so this is it, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So don't start a movie with your partner, then watch episodes by yourself.
Listen. Listen. Before you watch any series, anything, it don't even gotta be like, oh, I ain't gonna watch it till me and you talk about it. Just hit them up like, hey, are you interested in watching so-and-so? Because I've seen it and I think I want to watch it. Yeah, I do want to see that. Okay, cool. We'll start it together. I'll watch something else right now. Yeah. Like, real talk, I have one go-to. And the main reason I watch this thing over and over again is because I know it's something that he's not interested in watching.
Right.
So I can watch this by myself all the time. Yeah. So and usually I just watch TV for background noise. So, fun fact about me.
Man, I
can't really do just one thing at a time.
True. Side note, it took a long time for me to adjust to that in the marriage too. But go ahead.
Yes, and we'll share that like on later episodes. But I always need to multitask. Otherwise, inside of my brain, I get bored. So if I'm working on, let's say I'm doing a tax return on my computer and I'm talking to clients on my phone and then I got the TV on in the background, that's a good work environment for me.
Yeah.
For him, he can't do that. He can't work while he got the TV going and he's doing his phone and his laptop at the same time. So if he's working on his laptop, he put the phone down, the TV's off.
Yeah.
If he's doing stuff on his phone, the laptop is to the side. And if we're watching TV, he's just watching TV.
Yep.
So knowing that about each other, it was like, okay, cool. But a lot of the times I need the TV on, not necessarily that I'm watching what's on it. And most of the time I am. So what I do is I have a show, Criminal Minds. Actually, I have a couple of them. I do like the Vampire Diaries, that whole series, the originals, all of that, and Criminal Minds. These are shows that I know he's not interested in seeing at all. So I can watch them as much as I want, as often as I want. And there's no disrespect to him. He's not going to show up like, man, you watching the originals? I want to see that. He's never going to feel like that. So those are my safe shows. And then, with some things that he like to watch or whatever that and for him, it's mostly audiobooks.
Yeah.
And for me, his audiobooks are bedtime stories.
Yeah.
So he could listen to his audiobook all he wants. Me, I just want to hear the audiobook when I'm trying to go to bed, and I need something. I can't just be inside my head or I will stay up.
Right.
I'll be up in my head for hours. I need something to put me to sleep. So I'll be like, babe, you got a bedtime story for me? It's the audiobook he's listening to. He'll put that on and I'll go to sleep. But if it's a show, let's say, for instance, All American, right? We're watching that show.
Oh, yeah.
The new season just
Yeah.
started. So I come home last night and Dash is like, Mom, All American, the new season is out. Let's watch it. I said, no, baby, your daddy's not here. He like, so? He got Netflix on his phone. He could watch it later.
That's how you get your PlayStation snatched.
And I'm like, no, like, we cannot watch All American without your dad because that's a show that we all watch together.
Right.
So, and it's just really the basic stuff, like the feeling of feeling included, loved. Like, exclusion is real. He come home and me and Dash don't watch 2 episodes of All American.
Now, you know
his feelings gonna be hurt.
You know how you come home and you turn on Netflix and then you see that bar all the way
Continue
down that
watching.
episode, continue watching, you be like, what episode is this?
When did we watch this?
When did we watch this? I don't recall. I must have been asleep.
So, yeah, like if it's a show that you guys are both interested in, and if it's a brand new show, you're not sure of the interest, just hit them up. Like, babe, I seen this show. I think I'm going to watch it. You want to see it too? And they might be like, nah, I don't want to watch that shit. Okay, cool. Now you know you're good to watch it.
Hey, the love is so real. One time we was fighting, right? Like last time she was fighting, she must have been out of town. How? We don't ever fight when you go out of town, no?
We fought before, then I went out of town afterwards.
Okay, so that's what happened. So and I'm watching Netflix, right? There's a couple of movies that came on, and I'm watching. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna watch this. This is like when you get to the point where this is all you fighting about, and then you made it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you what, always like this butt naked fight. We'll get to that at the end of the episode. But what was crazy was that I turned it on. I'm watching. I'm like, yeah. And I watched it for like 5 minutes, like guilty. I was just like, I just turned it off. I couldn't even enjoy the movie. I called myself being mad at her. I'm gonna watch something without her. I don't
watch
care.
a show without me. What's wrong with him?
Man, I couldn't even do it. Like 5 minutes into it, I turned it off. You know what I'm saying? And then I end up like putting it all the way back. And then when she came home after we made up and everything, I'm like, hey, we got this little show on Netflix. I might be interested. I'm gonna check it out. And then we end up watching. I forgot what it was, but I couldn't even get through it. Because I knew that I was just mad and it wasn't a permanent. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So just that deep down love for her, I just couldn't even do. I just turned the shit off.
And you don't want to do stuff like that where your actions in the aftermath of the current fight create another fight.
Yeah.
You're like, what in the heck? I was trying to get over this fight. I done did something dumb. Now she mad about something else. Now we fighting again.
Yeah.
So
and you gotta explain yourself. Then you look stupid. I look stupid explaining. I hate getting mad because I hulk out every time, and then.
Gotta explain what happened.
I gotta explain what happened.
Thinking.
What you like? How you know how the Hulk bust through the wall and he tear everything up, and then he gotta sit there with his pants all ripped up when he ban her again, and he like, sorry, I don't even know how I got here. Like that's how I be. So I hate when I get like that because then I got. So I was mad and I watched the movie and now. Okay.
Well, first you gotta understand that I was feeling like this because that had just happened, and I'll be like. And I'm looking like,
she's like,
okay.
Yeah. I'm like, well, you want to go eat or something? I don't know. You like chicken wings.
Got you a chicken wing bag. You like chicken, right?
All right. So that was 2. First one is don't eat without checking with your mate. Second one was don't watch a movie without your partner. And then, okay. So this was an issue with me with her earlier. And ironically, I just had to fight. I had to fight my day one we were going back and forth on Facebook, all this kind of stuff. And when he said this, I said, my wife said the same thing. This is crazy right now. Is he was like, you don't even check up on your homeboy. You don't even check up on your nigga, man. Like, that's why I'm upset. My feelings is hurt. And I was like, damn, guess I don't. And I get to a point where if I put you on a checklist, or if I don't put you on a checklist, like, you know, hey man, kick rocks. Like, I'm so rude with it that I hate that about my personality, that I'm mean when I want to be. And I was so mean to him. And he said, he was like, nigga, you ain't even, you know what I mean? And I was just like, man, this dude right. As much as he cussed me out, this dude is right. And with my wife, it wasn't that I was cussing her out. It was just a matter of fact that, You turned it off? It wasn't recording.
This first episode might just be on Facebook.
How did it not record, Dash? You good now? Did you have to turn it back on? So I got some editing to do, huh? Okay, all good. Don't worry about it. That's right. Oh, thank you, Dash.
That's why we got the PA, though.
Yeah, hey, but look how important your job is. If you wouldn't have caught that, I'd have went the whole rest of this last little 10 minutes. Be like, where'd the rest of the episode go? So good job. Proud of you, okay? All right. So it was called Checklist, basically. Long story short.
Oh, man.
And what happened
His
was
checklist is mean, y'all, mean.
yeah, I didn't intend to be mean. It was just the fact that I was like, well, you straight, right? Okay, you good? You need something? You hungry? Like you taking care of a dog. Like you taking care of an infant. Pamper change? Did you burp? Did you eat? You good? Okay, lay in the pen. Go to sleep. And I go about my business. And then I didn't realize that she was like, yo, don't checklist me. Like, really come see what's good with me and then move around, whatever. And so I think a little bit, I ended up getting a taste of my own medicine just this year and kind of realizing how that felt. And like, damn, that's how that felt? Like, you know what? I gotta get my shit together, because if that's how that felt to somebody I love, I can only imagine how I feel to somebody who I don't cater to every single day.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I had to fix that. So number 3 is more about me or anybody who needs this. It wasn't her issue, it was my issue, and it was, don't put your loving on a checklist. Don't go down a list like, you good today? Are you great? How was work? Great. Put on autopilot. Okay, that's good.
Right.
That's dope. You thirsty? You hungry?
That's
okay,
a good term. Do not put your people, don't put your loved one on autopilot.
On autopilot. So that was that. So I've explained that one. That's enough. And the next one is, all right, so 2 more left. Do support health goals. This is not really for us. This is for other people who we see that have this issue, kind of.
Right.
But it's do support health goals, even if they are different from yours.
Man.
We see that in our business a lot, huh?
It's a lot. And what's crazy about it is a lot of the times when you get that, like, ladies, if you're like, okay, I'm going to lose weight, and then your man is not supporting it, it's not so much that he's not supporting your goal. He's more hurt that you're going outside of him to reach that goal. Like, so on our end, and I'm just saying as a lady, like, if right now, if I was like, you know what, Dee, I got a trainer across town and he's going to work with me 3 times a week so I could get my results. Dee might look at me and be like, what the hell? Like, we own 2 clubs. I train people every week. If you needed someone to work you out and train you, why didn't you talk to me first? And that's like an extreme case because he does training. But on your end, you got your man at home, and then you're like, yeah, I'm going down here to rebuild a box or to Phoenix Fit Lab and working out. Your man is like, yo, I would have worked out with you. So, and it might be that he's not a trainer, or maybe he's not motivational. Maybe he's not, understanding or empathetic or all these different things. And so you felt like you needed something outside. But prior to going and seeking something else, like, your mate deserves a conversation. Yeah. So whatever your goal is, it's like, hey, I really want to do this. I really want to work on this. Whatever that health goal might be. It might not even be weight loss. It might be like, oh my gosh, every time I go up the stairs, I'll be so tired. I really want to work on that.
Right.
And they get a chance to be like, okay, dope. So what do you want to do? And be a part of that conversation with you. So if you end up at, I'm going to go join Fit Lab and get personal training, he's not like, what? Where did this come from? It's like, okay, yeah, we've been talking about that, and I get it, and I see that it's something you really wanted to do, and I see the, the posts, and I see the, you've been tagging me and stuff, and I see it, Let me come down with you. Let me support you. Now, if you up and go to Fit Lab and then come back home and be like, yeah, but I went to Fit Lab and it was dope and and then they see the pictures and the videos. Now you can't be like, babe, come with me. It's too late. It's too late. You needed to talk to them first.
Pictures and the
needed
videos.
to have the conversation up front.
Because there'd be some pictures and videos.
Right. They need to have known that you had a goal and that you're looking for something. And then when you find it, like, I found this, I think I'm going to go. Like, your partner has to be your partner. And when you're making decisions about your own goals and your health and your fitness and all that stuff, you want to share that decision with your partner. Yes, it's your body, and ideally you can do whatever you want, but your partner wants to feel included. Yeah. Something that people be like, don't you make the money decisions? It doesn't matter in our household if I make the money decisions or not. I'm still going to run it by Dee like, babe, what you think about this? What you think about that? He's always like, do whatever you want. Like, yeah, get it. Yeah. Buy it. Love it. Babe, did you see the new Gucci boots? Look, I seen these. I think I want them. He like, oh, those dope.
Yeah.
But if I just pop up with some new Gucci boots, like, babe, look at these. I just bought another pair of $1,200 boots this week. He might feel like, man, the fuck? I didn't know we had an extra $1,200.
Because it'd be some Gucci boots in this damn house.
Well,
it'd be some Gucci
this
boots
season I'm scaling back, and it's not really a scale back, but I'm switching over to Fendi because Gucci disappointed me. But that's a whole nother story. Gucci disappointed me with their fall line. I was just not impressed. I got the boots and that's it. But anyway,
instead of $1,200,
whatever. But but like still in prior to making the purchase, I'm gonna mention it to him. I'm gonna show him a picture or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I want him to feel included, even if it's a personal decision.
Yeah.
Like I want him to feel included in the decisions that I'm making for my life or with the kids or with the household. He told me this with my daughter, and I was like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. My daughter wants to do all these things. She's 14 and a half, but she acts like she's 20, honestly. So she always wanting to do all these things, and she asked me, because I'm the cool ass mom that's like, if it ain't ruining your life, go for it, shorty. Like whatever, what you want to do. So when she wants stuff, like if she wanted her cartilage up top pierced.
Oh yeah. And
it was like, okay, let me ask your dad. And she's looking like, why we gotta ask my dad? Why can't you just say, all right, just chill, let me just ask him. And so hey daddy, Daisha wants to get her cartilage up top pierced. You know, are you cool with that? He's like, yeah, go ahead. And I didn't, like, it wasn't nothing different for me. It was just like, this is what she wants. Let me ask. And he was like, that's all I want. I just want to be considered before a decision like that is made.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dope, got it. And I usually do that anyway, but to hear him say it, that's all he wants is the consideration before I make a decision, it just really let me know that my mindset on the situation was what it should be. Mm-hmm. It's not so much that I need permission to let my daughter pierce her ears, or I need permission to buy myself a pair of boots, or whatever I'm doing. It's more so that he's my partner, and as my partner in life, he deserves to know and have pre-warning of the actions that I'm going to take prior to me taking them. And it could be anything. I'm about to go run up the block and go do my nails. Like before we pulled off, I tried to tell him, and Mark was like, what's up? I'm like, let daddy know I'm about to leave with his truck to go take him over to the recycling place. And he was like, oh, okay. And I sat and I waited while I'm watching Mark in the mirror go over there and tell him. And I see him tell him, and I see Dee give him the nod. And then he came back and was like, you're good. And then I left. Listen, I'm grown. I got the keys. I got a license. My name is on that truck too. I could have gotten that truck and drove off.
Yeah.
But I'm going to always give him fair consideration in my actions or my thoughts because he's my partner.
Yeah. It's like watching a Netflix movie without me. Got to let me know. That's all. That's all we be wanting. That's all we care about.
Just a little bit of consideration.
Just a little bit of consideration. All right, cool. So last one.
Here we go.
And we gonna butt naked fight. Last one.
Yeah, we'll tell y'all about that fight.
Do give grace to your partner. Either because my handwriting is kind of scratchy, but do give grace to your partner when you upset or when they make a mistake.
Yes. Oh my gosh. What's crazy about that one is that we like to think that we all do that. We all think, yeah, no, I'm no. Listen, I recently just read this where there's a couple different levels that people are at. You can figure out where you're at. But the most basic level is self-preservation. If there's anything around you that you consider dangerous or harmful or upsetting, your first goal is to preserve yourself. Like, let me protect me.
Yeah.
Okay, after that, once you get, and it usually happens, for women, it usually happens when they have children, or if you get married or you're in a long-term relationship, you then learn to not preserve yourself all the time, but you're checking for that person's safety, well-being, mental health, like all of that. And then beyond that, so you're also preserving yourself, but you're checking for that person too.
Right.
Then the next level beyond that is when you become so rooted in your relationship and you feel so loved or protected by that person that you're not even protecting yourself anymore because you know that person got you, and your primary goal is to make sure that person feels safe, loved, happy, like all that. And then and that's the third level. So what happens is when you're single for a while, it's self-preservation.
Yeah.
And if you're a single mother, it's me and my kids. I gotta take care of me and my kids. And then when you meet somebody, it's so hard to let go of that protect me and my kids and let that person in because you don't feel safe yet. So then you're in a relationship, but you haven't let go of the protect me and my kids yet to let that person all the way in. So an argument comes up and right away you're like, protect me and my kids. And what that does is it really just creates a division in your relationship. And I just thought about this the other day because I remember our first argument. I think we had been talking for like maybe 5 or 6 months. And, we were talking about whatever. And some kind of way in conversation, he found out that I didn't have health insurance for my 2 kids. This is when we first met. I had 2 kids already. We're dating. And he found out that I didn't have health insurance for my 2 kids. And he kind of said something like, what? You got no health insurance for your kids? Like I was crazy for that. And immediately, self-preservation for me and my family, I was like, yo, don't nobody take care of nothing for me and these kids but me. So don't judge me because I don't got health insurance. Like if my kids need to go to the doctor, I pay that doctor's bill. If I need to see the doctor, I pay the doctor bill. I pay the emergency room or somebody. Because he was like, oh, what if somebody break their leg or something? I will pay the emergency room bill. I ain't gonna ask you for it, so don't worry about it. Like it was immediately there, right to like boom. Yeah. But that was my initial, because I had been a single mom. Yeah. And here comes this new dude. And if you know D, he's a little bit cocky. And I'm over here like, man, I'm the shit. I got my own house, car, truck. Yes, I'm a single mom, but I got a business and a career. Like, don't play me and don't come for me and my kids. Like, and that was legitimately the thought process when he asked me about why I don't have insurance for me and my kids. I was like, don't come for me and my kids. Yeah. Because we good. So we had that fight. And then later on, like years down the line, it's like every conversation, every disagreement, my first thought is, how must I have made him feel to say what he said? And my thought is how he felt in the moment when he did the thing that made me mad. He must have felt pretty bad to react like that. What did I do to make him feel like that? Let me make sure he knows that that's not real. Ain't nobody mad at you. Don't nobody hate you. Ain't nobody like sick of you. I love you. Like this is us. Like we forever. So whenever he's reacting out of a feeling that he has inside of him, my first instinct now, after 13 years of marriage, is to figure out what did I do to make him feel that way? Yeah. Or what can I do to help him not feel that way? Yeah. So it's like, you got to figure it out. Once you figure out that you love that person and you're there, you can't stay in that mode where you're trying to protect yourself all the time, because then you don't become a union. You're constantly 2 people separate trying to protect yourselves. When you create that union, you're not protecting yourself anymore. You're protecting us. And when we're both protecting us, the us can last a longer time.
Can we protect each other if finances like come into play and like we both hold on to our own money? Like, are we able to support each other if it's like, well, this is I got $600. I don't know what you got. You ain't got $600? I got $600.
That's, man, in a relationship, I find that those separate finances, and I've never done it. I'm going to be honest with you. I have never, ever done a relationship with somebody where we lived together, but we kept our money separate. Now, I've dated where we lived separately and everybody had their own money, and that was cool because we also had our own separate bills.
Right.
But if we're in a relationship and we live together and we share bills, listen, we need to go ahead and combine that money.
Right.
And it needs to not be a, how much did you put in the account this week? How much did I put in the account this week? No. All the money goes into the account and we pay all of our bills collectively. And if there's extra money, then we got extra money.
Yeah.
And if there's no extra money, then we just broke this week. It ain't going to be like, I paid all the bills and I'm broke and he like, shit, I'm still balling.
Right.
Like, no, because it just breeds separation. For the woman, you start to feel like you got to do shit to get some of his money. Like if he got, I'm just using his $600 because he said it. If he got $600 and I'm broke, and then I'm looking like, I don't want to have to ask you for some money because I want to get my nails done today. That's foolishness. If you got it, and then there's this. What if I want my nails done and I don't got it and he never offers? So I'm just walking around with raggedy nails and he got the $600 in his pocket and I just needed $50.
I can see them fights coming a
Right.
mile away
It's
right
like,
there.
bruh,
Ugh, them fights.
it's just ridiculous.
Them unnecessary fights right there.
Where if the money was together, I could be like, I'm going to go get my nails done. And he might be like, yeah, you're right. I need a haircut. I'm going to go get my haircut while you get your nails done. And we looking like, you know what? It's $600 in the account. It's enough for your haircut and my nails and we still good. Cool. Let's go do that and split up.
Yeah.
It's not a, Daddy, can I get some money to do my nails? Like, that's cool when you dating. And don't nobody want to be married to that. Don't nobody want to have to ask their spouse for money all the time.
You know what? I remember the benefit of putting our money together when I think, man, it might have been like our first flat screen TV. Like one of our very first big screen, our first good one.
Right.
Big screen TV. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I don't have money in my pocket by myself. Or, I know how much I made at my job, but I know that stuff went to bills. And I know that, if I was to do this just by myself with my paycheck and based on the bills, these kids being little and everything, all the stuff they needed, I'm like, I wouldn't have better bought that TV by myself. And here I am enjoying the new Blu-ray.
Right.
Because Blu-ray was just popping, right? So I got the Blu-ray and it made me feel good as a man. Like, together, we bought a big screen TV years and years ago.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that made me, it ain't about material, but that made me realize like the power of enjoying life.
The combined finances.
Because if I would have had 300, but not enough to have a TV, especially back then when flat screens was going for a hell of a lot more money than they're going for right now. We might have paid like damn near $1,200 for our first flat screen or something like that.
Man, we spent some bread on that joint. So I'm going to address this because Ursula just made a comment. She said health insurance is important, though. And the argument was never about health insurance because obviously health insurance is important. But our argument was more about him not understanding my position. I was a single mother with 2 children. I had just got out of prison, and I had managed to buy a home, buy a car, buy a SUV. I'm working 2 jobs, 2 businesses. Like, I'm doing all of this. And if the discussion is having a babysitter for my child while I work or paying for health insurance, I was going to choose the babysitter. I needed to pay. I had to prioritize my expenses. And at the time, everyone is healthy, and I can't afford to pay. At the time, I remember it because my job was like $460 a month for health insurance. And I was like, I don't have that. Yeah. Like, I can't afford that. So it was like, bam, like, let me just go ahead and, you know what I mean? I'm going to wing it for now, and I'm going to save up, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to pay some bills, and I'm going to get these things paid for. And then either if someone gets sick, I'll just pay for it. Because back then we were in Wisconsin, and I knew that if they got sick, they had to see them at the emergency room. Right. So my kids are going to get health care regardless. They have to get seen if they're sick. But if I don't pay this rent, ain't nobody going to say they just let us stay here. So before I bought my house we were renting, I needed to prioritize my expenses, and $460 a month for myself and 2 children as a single mother wasn't happening. And he didn't understand my position.
That's what I was finna say.
That I had to prioritize that. He was a single man with no children.
With no children. That's what I was
and he looked at me like, what, you ain't got no health insurance? Like,
I ain't had no business.
I'm like, bruh.
I ain't had no business speaking on your situation.
Man, I'm like, bruh, I pay all these bills. And it was funny because at the time, his car was like not reliable. and I was letting him drive one of my cars.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you gonna judge me on health insurance and you driving one of my cars right now?
Yeah.
Like, bruh, come on. So
Yeah.
it wasn't really about the health insurance situation, because I agree it is important. But if you can't afford it, you can't afford
Can't afford it.
So it was, and that was the thing. I was just like, no, they get health care. Like, there's clinics that they can go to get their shots. I found ways to get it done.
Yeah.
But he didn't understand my situation as a single mother trying to hold down that family.
And you being resourceful back then, like, you the only person I know that can find anything for anybody, anywhere, whether it's agriculture, whether it's real estate,
Man.
whether it's repair, fixing. Like, you pull stuff out your ass when it comes to helping people, finding resources. So I didn't know you was capable of
Right.
taking care of them kids how you were back in the day before I met you, because, you know, I'm going off of only stuff that I know.
Right,
And you come
right.
in looking like a superhero, the way everybody was this and that. Mark had all these sports. Y'all was the only y'all made me realize what an appetizer was. As a single mother and y'all having them kids, Mark was like 8. And we at the menu, we out to eat, right? And we at the little restaurant, you know what I'm saying? Okay, what's up, little man? Rubbing on top of his head, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, what's up, little man? How you doing? Okay, cool. And he like, yeah, I'll have for appetizer, I'll have this, and I'll have the sushi. And for the appetizer, I was like, y'all eat appetizers? First of all, I ain't had no money for no appetizers, number one. Number two, they were just living a better life as single mom with kids, making it than anything. So if a motherfucker can buy appetizers, a motherfucker can afford to take care of their kids with insurance, no insurance, whatever. They gonna, you know, them kids taken care of, and you know she got money for emergency room or whatever the case it may be. You already know. So that was that opened my eyes to that. So a good comment. Anybody else? So before we get up out of here, Allery say, man, the way y'all articulating these basic feelings and emotions and ideologies is A1. I appreciate you, AB.
Nah, it's crazy because a lot of times you just don't. It's more about just feeling safe in your relationship. Like, because we know that we love each other and we're not going nowhere, I can say whatever.
Yeah.
Like, however I feel right now is valid.
Yeah.
And sometimes inside of our minds, we have a feeling or a thought that we think no one's going to understand or accept. But I know that he understands. And if he doesn't understand, he's going to ask me to elaborate. He's not going to judge me.
Yeah.
I know that I can say whatever is on my mind, however I'm feeling. He might be like, that's crazy. And then when I explain it, he's like, okay, I see that. It makes sense now.
Yeah.
But I know that we're going to have that grace for each other. So, like, it just makes it easy to communicate. And it doesn't come overnight. Like, when we first met, I wouldn't tell him my inner fears or thoughts or any of that. Because obviously we dating, and I want him to feel like she's fine.
Yeah.
Like, you can't meet your first person, meet them, and be like, okay, this is what I need from you in a relationship. No, you have to go through some things, and then they stay. Like, you go through something, and they didn't leave.
Right.
And then you're like, okay, I guess this is real. I'm going to share a little bit more. But the truth is, the quicker you share, the faster the relationship grows.
Yeah. What do you call it? Fell fast?
Right?
All right, cool. All right, so last thing, butt naked fight. We
Oh
out of
my
here.
gosh.
It's almost going about an hour. We got to get up out of here.
Yes.
We hungry, too. I got the hungry breath right now on this microphone. How y'all keep the spark? It might be for another podcast.
Yes, we're going to catch that on the next one. The very next one is going to be on that.
How to keep the spark. Very
Yes.
next podcast, Coach A. All right, so okay, so we was fighting, right? I don't know what happened, but I was drinking.
I'm going to tell you what we used to always fight about. All of our fights in the beginning of the marriage for the first 3 years or so was always about girls that he was talking to on the internet.
Yep,
Always. And it was like, oh, who titties is this in your phone? Who done sent you these titty pictures?
It's just random titties.
And he like, I don't even know who that
I
is.
don't know who titties these is.
Nigga, I look stupid to you?
Whose titties is these? Somebody tell me whose titties is these.
Man, she probably sent him to the wrong number. He say stuff like
Who
that.
slid these titties in my phone?
I'm like, bruh, do I look dumb? You gonna act like you don't know where these titties
These
pictures
is
came from.
random titties.
So we would have a fight. And so this particular day we fighting. My biggest thing is I don't like to fight. I do
Yeah.
not like to have fights at all.
Yeah.
So we fighting, and I decide I'm gonna go for a drive.
Yeah, that used to drive me crazy, man. You just gonna leave in the middle of this fight? We fighting. It drive me crazy. You just gonna leave.
He want to fight. I'm like, I need this fight to end. I'm gonna go for a drive, give it time, let it die down.
Yeah.
Maybe when I come back, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not fighting. All right. So we get there.
Yeah.
I know I drive.
Yeah.
I come back. I literally didn't do anything.
You
Drove
ain't go
down
nowhere.
Hunt Highway.
'Cause we was in a new construction area.
We was in Florence. We was living in
Yeah.
Magic Ranch.
Yeah.
Drove down Hunt Highway, came back.
Yeah.
At the time I had the convertible Sebring, so I had the top down.
Ooh,
I'm letting
the
the wind,
Sebring.
letting the breeze blow. I'm just, this
We
feels
got
good.
that repo too, by the way.
Playing some
But
good
that'll be in
music.
next episode too.
Man, playing some good music, just getting my mind off the fight. So I
Yep.
get back and I'm in the driveway
Yep.
and I'm going through my progressions.
Yeah.
I'm putting the top back
Oh,
up.
so you
and-
came back. That's right.
Yeah, putting the top back up and everything.
Yep.
And I just see this dark figure come running down from the door. It was him, butt naked, ran up on me, sitting in the driveway. Listen, it's the middle of the night, but it's still outside.
Still outdoors.
Outside on the driveway. He comes running down the little walkway, butt naked. Get out that car, get in the house. I'm like, I just didn't want nobody to see him out there butt naked yelling at me.
Yelling and swinging.
Bruh. So I hurried up, closed the top, got back, went in the house like, oh my gosh. Like, what?
I took my pecker, knocked the window. I was like, boom, boom, boom.
Listen.
Okay, I'm lying.
Butt
But-
naked, running down the aisle in front of the door,
Yeah.
yelling at, like, talking about, get in the house. I'm
Yeah.
like,
I had just got the shower and I was mad. I couldn't let it go. I just got the shower. I was mad. I couldn't let it go. And then when she came back, I'm like, yeah, let's finish fighting. Like, come downstairs.
look,
Ah.
look. He must have heard me on the driveway because I was still playing my music and stuff. I'm still vibing and stuff, just like,
Yeah.
little bit of reggae, just chilling. And he just come running out. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So I just heard him go inside and he's fighting. I'm just like, I'm not fighting you. Like, I'm not going to fight you. Like, stop it. Why are you naked? I don't want to fight you.
I'm glad I was in Arizona because I was warm. I wasn't cold outside.
Right. You couldn't have did that to me in Wisconsin.
Nah. Hypothermal balls. So,
But that was our butt naked fight.
butt naked fight. So
I had clothes on.
don't have none of them. Don't be like us in the early years. Be like us now in these years and get through it. All right, y'all. So that's it. We got to get up out of here, man. We hungry. I want to say thank you.
Man, thanks for tuning in, y'all. It was nice chilling and chatting with y'all.
Yeah, we're going to do this every week. And then, I know she got a lot to offer y'all and stuff like that. I ain't got much to offer y'all. All I can do
He's
is
so modest.
I can just hook up equipment. I do videos and I can put the sound together. She got all the nuggets for y'all. I'm just here for the ride. I want to say thank you, King Dash, for being my PA over there right now behind the counter doing this thing. That's the heir to my creative throne.
Yes.
So boom. So outside that, maybe you want to say anything for closing?
Man, honestly, the biggest thing is to just approach every situation with love first. Love and empathy for the other person, whether it's your partner, your friends, your coworkers, whatever. Whatever is going on, if it's a negative situation, if you approach it with love and empathy, it'll diffuse quickly and you'll be able to move forward and have strong relationships. I don't really have anybody in my life that when they look back at me, they like, yeah, I don't mess with her.
Yeah.
They like, oh, Trisha, I love her. Everybody, even the people that I thought would hate me because I told them some things that they probably didn't want to hear but needed to hear, it was with love and empathy, so they appreciated it. And I've always been able to move forward and build strong relationships like that. So
Yeah.
whatever you got going on in your life, whether it's a co-worker or whatever, man, just approach every situation with love and empathy first, and you'll be able to move forward and have great relationships and happy times.
It's dope as hell. Appreciate you, girl. I want to say thank you everybody on live that tuned in to her live and my live. Tavares, you very welcome. AB, appreciate y'all. Brenda, thank y'all for watching. Yeah, Tavares, it was like that. Thank everybody. Coach
Thanks
A.
for chilling with us, Ursula,
Thank you.
Andre, Shalise,
Nice.
aka Elizabeth, if y'all see her on there.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Appreciate it. Oh, so it's going to be a website coming. I already got it up. It's just not finished. We're going to have some downloadable content and stuff you can take home with you, like our steps that we said. That's going to be up on there. So just watch out. So everything going to be solidified. You better subscribe to the page. New Facebook page coming, all kind of stuff. Other than that, appreciate y'all. It's your boy, Coach D. Matthews.
Peace.
Holla at y'all.